Good morning, everybody. Great to have you here. I'm Pete Mayer, your Deputy Executive Director. It's a pleasure to be back with you. For some reason, they've not found someone else to MC this, so you're stuck with me for a third year. Actually, it's great to be in front of you. Great to have all of our faces together, and somehow we managed to just nail the weather. So that's pretty remarkable. We've got a great day in store for you. We're also being visited virtually, remotely, by folks somewhere throughout our district. Northwest Track, Point Defiant Zoo Aquarium, and other places in between. We want to do a shout out to folks who are beaming in virtually to our all staff. So great to have everybody here. We've got a great barbecue plan for you. I do want to real quickly acknowledge and recognize the planning team for this all-staff event. So if you would, all staff meeting planners, please stand up and be acknowledged and recognized. Don't be bashful, Jennifer. Thank you all. A lot of work goes into this event, as you can imagine. So really appreciate the commitment and the collaboration to make this happen. With that, it's a pleasure for me to introduce our Metro Parks Tacoma Park Commissioner and President of the Board, Mr. Aaron Pointer, and a couple things I just want to highlight that I think are pretty outstanding. Some of you who've been with us for some time may know this, but Aaron has an incredible career and background, not only his 30 years in the business of Parks and Recreation with Pierce County Parks as their athletic supervisor, but he's got some, I believe, Houston Astro and Chicago Cubby background. Yes. He was inducted into the Tacoma Hall of Fame in 2008. Back in 1978 through 1987, he was an official with the Pac-10 Conference, and he was the first African-American referee in the Pac-10. He worked for the National Football League from 1987 to 2003. He was an NFL head linesman. He's been on the executive board of the Tacoma Athletic Commission, and a couple other most recent notable things I like to share. Aaron was featured in the July 29th edition of Sports Illustrated. Who saw that article? Isn't that incredible? And I want to read real quickly the intro to this. It's a test of skill and endurance so stringent that no major league batter has passed it since World War II. The stories of two minor leaguers who have since hit baseball's magic number, one in the Jim Crow South, one in independent hardball outpost, are monuments to the resolve it takes to succeed in the game. Quote, Aaron Pointer is the last to hit 400 in affiliated baseball with a single team. Darrell Brinkley is the last to reach that mark in independent ball. Both are living monuments to the ever-expanding difficulty of 400 and what it means to endure. So, pretty incredible, remarkable background and life experience that our president has. And lastly, recently, just in the last week, he was recognized by the NAACP, receiving the Harold G. Moss Decades Award, recognizing his advocacy for civil and human rights of African Americans and using his voice to promote and demand social justice for all citizens. Pretty incredible leader in this community, and we are really fortunate to have him joining other fabulous members of our Park Commission, and it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Aaron Pointer.
Thank you, Pete, and it's really a pleasure to be here with all of you. It's such a great group to be associated with. Every chance I get, I brag about Metro Parks and all that they do for the quality of life for people that live here in Pierce County. And for those of you who might not know that, I think it was 2018, the city of Tacoma had a survey, and they were asking people to grade and rate the services of the city's citizens that receive services from the city of Tacoma. And Metro Parks was the number one as far as service providers for the city of Tacoma. The park district rated higher than the fire department and the police department and other social services. So You all are a part of that, and you all need to be proud of your accomplishments, as I am, because you really make the quality of life here in Tacoma something that would not be here if it were not for all of the great things that you're doing. As I've mentioned to people before, people don't move to areas because they have a great police department or a great fire department. They move to areas because of the quality of life, the schools and the parks and the things that kids can enjoy and learn and grow from. And so you're the ones that make that happen for the city of Tacoma, and I appreciate that because I've got grandkids and kids here that are also involved with Tacoma as far as the facilities and the quality of life. I'd also like to recognize Andrea Smith, the park commissioner that I see here, and so thank you, Andrea, and on behalf of the Park District and the Park Board of Commissioners, we all thank you and appreciate the great work that you're doing, and believe it or it's not something that's not going unnoticed. We notice it, the citizens of Tacoma notice it, and you should be proud of all of the great things that you're doing to make this city one of the best cities in the state of Washington. So thank you very much. And there's a plaque. In fact, our former commissioner, our present commissioner, Tim Reed, he's up for election, so maybe, I don't know if I'm premature or not. But it says the best of the best, and the Metro Park of Tacoma was recognized as one of the best in the United States as far as parks, and so we have that all to your involvement in what you've done to make Metro Parks one of the best. So thank you. We appreciate what you do. Keep up the great work. And as Pete said, thank you for this great weather that you provided for us for the barbecue today. And you didn't come here to hear me. You came here for the barbecue like I did. So have a great day and a good time. And thank you again for everything that you've done for the citizens here in Pierce County and the citizens of Tacoma. So thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, I hope you guys are geared up for some high energy, high octane, fabulous engagement. We have the pleasure of welcoming Rachel Sheeran, who's an international keynote speaker and trainer who's really dedicated to helping us grow and thrive in our work and in our lives outside of work. She was recently named Speaker of the Year by NACE and featured in Inc. magazine. Rachel's high-energy keynotes and programs have served conference and annual meeting audiences from Spain to San Diego and Vancouver, Washington, where she joined us at the WRPA conference this last spring. And she's a huge fan of Tacoma and the Pacific Northwest. She loves serving people who love to serve other people, just like us. And she currently serves as International Director of Education for WIPA and is a longtime NACE member and likes her margaritas on the rocks. So let's join in a raucous round of applause for Rachel.
I'm here because you're great. I know that you're great. Because average people, they might still be sleeping or typing away in a cubicle, but you're here. Average people get into jobs to serve themselves, and you got into this job to serve others. You're great. And what comes along with being great in your industry is that you're a little bit crazy too. I can see all of you people are crazy. And I know that because I've kept up on y'all. You've opened a community park, a bridge, an aquarium, God bless you, all within the past 12 months. That's crazy. That's like 1,000% crazy. And your crazy isn't without acknowledgement, because I saw y'all are also up for a gold medal award. That is awesome. Yeah, totally. So you're great and you're crazy. I'm cool with that, because I like that. I think that's where the fun comes in. And I gotta tell you that Steve Jobs once said that to do great work, you have to love what you do, but he was wrong. Sorry, Apple. He was wrong because he wasn't in the service of others. He wasn't in the parks and rec industry. He wasn't in the community industry. He was wrong because he missed the boat 2/3. To do great work here, you have to love what you do, who you do it with, and who you do it for. It's got to be that 3. And that is why I'm here today. I'm not here to be the person between you and that barbecue, because it looks really good. It looks really good. I'm here to serve you. Even though you're used to serving others, I'm here to serve you because I think and I know that y'all don't get that a lot. I'm here to serve you in a way that creates trust and better understanding between teams. Because in addition to being great and crazy, I currently don't see anyone out there who does not care about what they do. Does anyone not care about what they do? Raise your hand. Anybody? Does anybody wake up in the morning thinking, you know what I want to do? Screw over my team. Anybody? Anybody? All the leaders are like, yeah, show the hands, raise them up. All right, so we're clear. Everybody's here to do a great job. I think that doing a great job starts with knowing yourself. Because if we're going to ask people to know us, to understand us, to listen to our best ideas, we've all got great ideas, then I think it starts with us and understanding how we come off. Heck yeah. Drag racing, 11:30 in the morning. Welcome to Tacoma. I like to break up people in 4 categories. Anybody out there like super into their horoscopes or personality quizzes, or ever feel like their spouse is giving them a personality quiz every time they walk in the door? I'm into it. But what I'm more into is behavior, because we can see it. And I've got a question for you. What is your pace? People tend to operate at 2 paces, fast or slow. The fast-paced people out there are like, oh yeah, those slow people, woof, total woof, right? Those slow-paced people, you're like, the fast-paced people out there, they miss all the details. I mean, they're just a wreck, and they're probably gonna die early from a heart attack, right? The person walking down the hall and they're like, move out of my way, I've got a meeting. Fast-paced or slow-paced? You know what you are? If you think about it, you know what pace you operate at? Good, hold on to it, fast-paced or slow-paced. Now, furthermore, people have 2 focuses, people or tasks. Where are my people-focused people at? People that would rather go out to lunch and connect with somebody than get their to-do list done, to get a project done, to organize their calendar. Thank you. I'm available for margaritas later. What about my task-based people? People that enjoy inbox 0. Get pride from checking off the to-do list. When you walk in the office in the morning, people are like, good morning. You're like, no, I'm here to work, not here to comment on the status of the day. Hello, task-based weirdos. We love you. So there's 4 kinds of folks in the world. This is how you behave. Slow or fast, people or task. And I gotta tell you, I know the Metro Parks is like every other organization. You're great, but you're average here, you're normal here. All of y'all are represented up here. It takes a village to build a park. It takes a village to show up at a meeting. It's gonna take a village to eat all the barbecue everyone has ordered. It takes a lot of people to make what you do possible. And I gotta tell you, up on this board, I see conflict. Conflict that we feel and we hold on to. But I'm getting ahead of myself, so let's talk about it. Where are my fast-paced, task-oriented people? Raise them up. Stand up. Stand up. Yeah, everyone's like, shoot, I did not sign up for this. All right, I promise that if you stand up, well, let me say, if you don't stand up, I will call you out. Straight up, this is non-voluntary. You have to do this, please. Go with me, it'll be worth it. Trust me, I'll buy you a beer. When you look around at these fast-paced, task-oriented people, leaders. They get stuff done. They make hard decisions. They can kind of be bossy, honestly. They're a bit bossy, right? Aggressive. They get projects done. They're racing through meetings. They always have timelines. They tend to be racing to something else as soon as you're done, which never seems to be enough time to fully discuss the issue, but it's okay. They're on a mission. And I'd like you to introduce them to their peers. Everyone who didn't stand up is like, shoot, I'm so glad I'm not them right now. We often see people by looking at others, and this is your peer group. But I got to tell you, does everyone in the world have an opinion about these two people? I don't even speak their name. But these people make people uncomfortable because they have opinions, because they make hard decisions, because they put a line in the sand. They want to move things forward. And even though these people are your peers and you might not love that peer group, thank you for making a lot of the hard decisions that we need to in this lifetime and in this work. Without y'all pushing us forward, well, it would be a bit more casual. So thank you. Let's give it up for fast-paced, task-oriented people. You may sit down. Everyone's like, I thought I liked this woman, but she's a bit tricky. Where are my fast-paced, people-oriented folks at? People who can have, come on, stand it up. Yes, absolutely. If you're sitting next to a former loudmouth or current loudmouth, nudge him and tell him to stand up. Yep, everyone's like, stand it up. Hello, fast-paced, people-oriented people. Please put your hands up in the air. Yes, please wave them like you don't care. Yes, don't worry, slow-paced people. I would never make you do this. This is uncomfortable for you. Look around, guys. These are your cheerleaders, your charisma keepers, your get on board with the mission, the good morning people, the people who literally wake up in the morning and whether caffeinated or not are like, let's do this together. They're the people that get you on board. Even when things are raining down, like really raining down, like negatively raining down, bad. They're like, it's a blessed day. It's okay. We're going to power through it. And then you're like, Sean, really? Sean? I don't know, man. I just don't know. Big ideas people, dreamer people. Listen, if you want a fun Friday night, take them out. If you want a fun work environment, invite them to all the barbecues. Check, check, check. Now, introducing you to your peer group, it's a bit better. Okay? I mean, Dolly Parton, game over. What do these people make you feel? Happy. It's very simple. Now, I can't let you off the hook that easily. People sitting down, do we ever wonder if these people standing up ever actually work? Do they just talk and get paid by the word? Listen, we appreciate your connection time. Sometimes it can come off like all you do is connect with people and the administrative work that keeps Metro Parks going doesn't get done. But again, let's talk about it over margaritas, guys. You guys are good. Thank you for bringing the energy in the office. Let's give it up for fast-paced people. Fast-paced people focused. Now, this next group, you guys will get up, I think, because you're very polite, and we love you for that. Where are hi. Where are my slow-paced, people-oriented folks? Rise slowly. Rise slowly, rise slowly, and look at your peers. For those wondering, and born in the 90s or later, the woman in the tiara, that's your peer, this is not Meghan Markle's mom. A question I just got in Texas. Texas schools call me to teach your folks how to teach. This is Princess Diana and Michelle Obama. And I want you to look at these folks, because these are your peacekeepers. These are the people that feel like a warm hug. These are the people that remember your dog's name and your kid's name and that ex-husband's name, and they still check up on you sometimes. They tend to be the people that are so focused and steady. They show up when they say they're going to show up. It's really weird and very cool. Very reliable. They're the person that when you get upset, they come to you and are like, you know what? Let it go. okay? The baby's colicky, she hasn't had much sleep, while also going to the other person and being like, they don't have a baby, they don't even know what colic is when you're talking about it. Give them some slack. Now, occasionally, you guys, you want to bring everybody together. You want to move forward together, but sometimes moving too fast makes you uncomfortable. Sometimes maybe the best thing to say isn't always the first thing that comes to your mind, so you let opportunities pass. At your worst, you're a doormat. By the end of this, you will not be a doormat any longer. You have loving people in this world that are slow-paced, people-oriented. Look at them, they're your glue people. Give it up for slow-paced, people-oriented people. And then give them a hug. They love typically being smushed, their body against your body. They love that. And finally, where are my slow-paced, task-oriented people? Stand up, proud nerds. Everyone in this section is like, nah, I'm not giving her the benefit of the doubt. Called out. It's okay, thank you. Look at that. Did you just take one for the team, sir? Did you just stand up twice? You were like, you know what, it's fine. I'm protecting everyone over here. It's good. Slow-paced, task-oriented people. My nerds. Excel spreadsheets, calendars, label makers, organization. Does any meeting start without an agenda? Do we ever follow the agenda? No, not really. It's merely a suggestion. But you guys are dotting the I's, crossing the T's, and you're coming back behind all of us, especially fast-paced folks, that are like, hey, get this done. Okay. I will, but I didn't love that. Thank you for dealing in a fast-paced world. Because it's tough. The world's built for fast-paced, but not for slow, and especially not for slow-paced, task-oriented people. Now, you guys are great question askers, so thank you. Everybody look at these people. Have you ever been in a meeting with them, and they're the person at like minute 59 that's like, okay, but just a few questions. And you're like, Diane, no. No, Diane, not no. Thank you for pushing us forward. I know that you don't mean to make us occasionally feel like you're kind of Debbie Downers, because you're not. You're pushing us forward with your immense knowledge, and you're just so smart. By the way, I don't know if you noticed, but Uncle Warren, Uncle Bill, everybody up on the screen, most billionaires in the world, 93% of them are slow-paced, task-oriented. So if you're going to attach someone, if you're going to attach to a rich person, please look in this section for these people. Let's give it up for my nerds, slow-paced, task-oriented. Thank you for that. And for those people not participating, my offer of margaritas has been revoked, and you're really missing out. It comes to teams. We're all a team. Does anybody work totally alone in a hole here? In a hole that they probably dug themselves, since this is the Parks Department. One man, one lonely man. He's like, I'm here. Sir, are you lost? Because this is part of a team activity today. You may feel alone. Are you emotionally alone? We can talk. Margs are back on the table for you. But we all do things better together. And some days we love it, right? Does anybody want the full responsibility of supporting this awesome community with your initiatives alone? Anybody feel like that responsibility? Good, me neither. It's better together. But the problem is that when it's better together, it can also go the other way. And I like to discuss the undiscussable up here. That's part of the benefit of being from Charlotte, North Carolina. If you don't like me, you don't have to see me at Fred Meyer later. When we're talking about teams, I got to tell you, I see a lot of strengths. And I know that you guys are a diverse team. You're not really split one way or the other. So what are people good at? I want to give some appreciation. Fast-paced, task-oriented people are good at decisions. Are we familiar with the term analysis paralysis? It's the idea that you have so many options that you don't know what to choose, like when you go to the Cheesecake Factory and you look at the menu. No one needs a 27-page menu. They just don't, but it's all delicious, so we accept it. Thank you for being decision makers. You push us forward. The energy on a team gets brought by fast-paced, people-oriented folks. Now, whether you like it or not, the person saying good morning creates cortisol in our brains that makes us happier. When people say good morning, all we hear is good. If you go to Chick-fil-A or you go to the Ritz-Carlton or you go to anywhere that's been trained by those two companies, they say two very magical words: my pleasure. Here's your French fries, my pleasure. Thank you very much, my pleasure. Do you mind shining my shoes? My pleasure. Is it really your pleasure to shine shoes? I don't know. But do you know what they do? They keep saying pleasure, pleasure, pleasure as they work. That's energy. That makes the difference. Slow-paced, people-oriented folks, they bring the follow-through. Remember those people making decisions, us fast-paced, task-oriented people? Who's got to do the work? Yeah, the one awkward laugh. Thank you very much. Yes, everyone's like, shoot, I know I got to do the work. Yeah, I feel you on this. All right? Some people are making decisions and the rest of us are doing the work. Slow-paced, people-oriented folks, they love it. They feel pride in that journey. Finally, slow-paced, task-oriented folks, they're getting the details. How many of you out there have thought at one point or another, if I did not exist in this time and space, this whole place would just go to, way downtown. Yep. You catch something that nobody else has seen. That's a superpower. That's what creates great teams, but it also creates great conflict. What's more important, making a hard decision or actually doing the work? If you don't make a decision, we can't do this work. We can't open up community centers. We can't launch educational sports programs. You can't do it. Somebody had to decide it and somebody has to do it. What about when you have energy to details? You ever listen to somebody talk and they start off with one idea and by the end of the conversation, they're totally on the opposite? And you're sitting there and you're thinking, are you dumb? What's going on here? Listen, two types of folks: the people that talk to think. Hi, fast-paced people, we talk to think. And people who do this very weird thing, they think, then they talk. Very odd, super weird. Thank you, slow-paced people. We appreciate your words. But what good is if we can't get started? Energy has a purpose. Details has a purpose. And over the past 12, 18, 24 months, has anyone had it easy? Has anybody woke up in the morning and thought, this job is easy? No, but you keep showing up because you do great work for great people with great people. Even on the days you think you don't. Because I got to tell you, when you understand why you're not feeling good at work, I like to discuss the undiscussable. When you understand why you're letting frustrations get to you, it's a game changer. How do we all sit here and know that we do a great job, but on the day-to-day, sometimes it's just, we feel so far apart from the mission? Do you remember when you started? Remember when you started here? Somebody's in the back like, nope, I was hungover day one. No, it's definitely, we'll talk later. No marks for you. When we started, we were excited. When we started, we knew the mission at hand. When we were excited, we found a community of people that believed in doing good work, that you can make a great life from serving others. And if you like the outdoors, this is the place for you. I don't even really dig the outdoors, and Pacific Northwest, you've won me over. Tacoma, I love it here. I love that Riverside Park. I love coming and checking out what y'all are doing. But I got to tell you that we're a group of high performers. And when we understand why we get stressed out, well, it's quite easy. I blame the American dream. Straight up. Success is supposed to look like this, right? Success at work, it's supposed to be linear. You know, when you go to school, you get a job, you get a promotion, you get a partner, you get a dog, maybe a cat, but probably a dog. We all agree, dogs, right? Okay. Then you get another promotion, then you get engaged. Then you get a house, then you get married, then you get a bigger car, you get a bigger house, you upgrade your spouse. I mean, success. It just keeps going. This is how this is supposed to work. This is the bill of goods we've been sold. But this is a much more accurate representation. It's chaos, y'all. This is actually my past 3 years of dieting, okay? There have been highs, there have been lows, all right? I'm all over the map. But how many times have you been crushing it at work and not been crushing it at home? How many times have you not been crushing it at work, but you've been dad of the year? You've been friend of the year. You haven't missed a wine night with all your girlfriends. It's hard. It's complicated. And I know that you guys are succeeding in a lot of ways, not just, getting projects completed. That's what that's what people like me get to see. I know that you succeed in making decisions, moving the needle forward, getting community on board, getting politics on board, getting funding, working in our teams, getting permits, hopefully some massages in the middle of it. It's hard. And it's hard work. And when you arrive at success, oftentimes these are the 3 emojis we get to see. You see yourself up on there? You see somebody you know on there? How about the emoji where accidentally the truth starts coming out because we're so stressed out? I'm a big, I like profanity personally, but I know that it's inappropriate in the workplace. Have we all had that moment where profanity, we have heard it in the workplace? Whoops, people are a little stressed. How about the point where you start getting emotional over what you're doing? Have we gotten to that point? Have you gotten so worked up over the mission and maybe the long haul that you start crying to Celine Dion in the car when it comes on? Titanic theme song? The guys over here are like, heck yeah, lady, preach. I feel you, my friends. And finally, what about this last emoji? Does everyone recognize this? The I don't give a emoji? Where you don't care. The sound of children playing in a park, you're like, ugh, life. The worst. You start driving by things you were proud of previously and you don't even hear it or see it, right? People give you compliments, telling you that what you've done has changed their life, changed their child's life, changed their opinion of Tacoma. And you're like, take a number. This is danger zone, guys. This is danger zone. And I like to discuss the undiscussable here. I'm here to help you gain more trust and awareness, right? You've already self-identified your pace and your focus, but I want to make something explicitly clear. You are here for a greater mission. You are part of something so much greater than yourself, you can't even see it because you're knee deep in it. But if you are flatline Stanley over here, if you really don't care anymore, I want to give you full permission. I want to give you full permission to do whatever you need to do, like this guy did.
I quit. Oh yeah, you can take this job and you can take this job and oh, chickaboo, my days are mine, my life is mine, oh yeah, my life.
We all feel how happy he is. Also, a few of you out there are thinking, did she just say quitting? Heck yeah, I did. Heck yeah, I did. If you're more on the stylish, do it like this.
I am quitting this job today. I'm
leaving. Are the suits a rental? I mean, I don't even know where you find guys like this, but if you don't need a reference letter, and you don't care about what you do anymore, go like this guy.
Guys, what is this? Guys, all of you out right now.
Jared, I'm here to tell you that I'm quitting.
Look at how pure that guy's smile is. And also, Jared is so pissed. His boss is like, you can hear it in his mind, millennials. Okay, I see you, Jared. But I gotta tell you, if your heart's not in it, then you've gotta quit. And I'm not advocating quitting. Please do not mishear me. When you started, you loved this, and I want to keep you loving this because what you do impacts so many others. But I would be remiss if I didn't remind you that showing up with a huge, helping, positive heart is a choice. It is a choice that you get to make every single day. What you look for, you're always going to find. If you look for this particular job and season in your life to be stressful and unfulfilling and full of conflict and just idiots, then guess what you're going to find? Conflict and idiots. It's a bad combo. But on the other side, if you show up to work with that heart, with that mindset to look for the goodness, you're going to find it. You're going to find fun again in this job. You're going to find fun in impacting communities. And I know it 1,000% because ROI equals ROI. ROI in the business world stands for return on investment. Companies and organizations care about this, but you should care about it in a whole new way because ROI equals ROI. Your return on investment equals your rate of involvement. Your return on investment, God bless you, equals your rate of involvement. And that's true for what we're learning today. That's true for today and tomorrow and the next day and the next month. What you put in is what you're going to get out. If you want greatness, put in greatness. You want fun, put in fun. You want teamwork, put in teamwork. So how are we going to get greater? Because I already know that you're great, but you want to get greater. Well, you get better. Improve interpersonally. Does anybody have a perfect relationship with everyone in this organization? Me, because you haven't told me you haven't liked me yet. I like y'all, you like me, we're good. Everyone else has complex relationships. I get that. So if you remember one thing from this, I want you to remember this hack. Does everyone communicate via email here? Is anyone on the pigeon system, the carrier pigeon system? Okay. When you get this email, are we familiar with this? Hello, period. I need this done, period. I need it completed by this date, period. Regards, comma, Rachel. First of all, rude, okay? It comes off as a rude email. When you're overusing periods, it feels like I'm yelling or bossing you around or directing you. Now, this is what fast-paced, task-oriented people do. And it's not rude. I don't see rude people here. But when you get an email like that, I've got to give you this hack. Reply with 2 words, bullet points. Bullet points. Have we all written an email that we've really included a lot of detail on, only to have somebody reply 30 seconds later and ask a question that was contained in the email below? And then we're like, okay, caps locks. If you would just delete. I'm at work. Listen, you son, delete. Oh boy, delete. Maybe I'll take a walk. Okay. Listen, if somebody uses a lot of periods in their emails, please use bullet points. And use bullet points when they're talking to you too. Now, what about this email? Hello, I'm so excited because we're having an all-hands meeting and there's gonna be barbecue. And somebody's like, did the exclamation button get stuck? There is no way that anyone is this excited about gathering together on a Wednesday. Where are my exclamation point abusers out there? Yeah? Oh, thank you. Does anybody ever catch themselves being like, ooh, too much, too happy, delete. Everyone who receives those emails are like, there is no way you edited that from less. Yeah, we did, we try. But here's the thing, all I'm asking for is I'm asking for 2 exclamation points. I'm not asking you to fake it. So I gotta tell you, I know when you're faking it. Do we all know when we're faking it? When other people are faking stuff around us? All the women are like, yes, 1,000%. When you have exclamation points in your email, I want you to use 2 of them, and I want you to use them on your first sentence and your last sentence in our emails. Hello, Rachel. It's great to hear from you. Exclamation point. Happy Wednesday. Exclamation point. I am alive. Exclamation point. Listen, I don't care what you say, but I want you to do it with vigor, and I want you to wish it on people. It's great to hear from you. Thank you for your email. I appreciate your fast reply. I appreciate you replying to me at all. Boom, exclamation point. And then I want you to end your email with an exclamation point. I look forward to reuniting with you. I can't wait to hear your response. Have a great Labor Day weekend. Give them a wish. Give them a hope for the future. It's nice common courtesy, and it goes a long way because how you start and how you finish matter. They always matter. Fast-paced, people-oriented folks, we tend to be human exclamation points. Toss us 1 or 2. And what about the email where you have a bunch of commas or dots? The email that when you open it up on your phone, you're like, we're scrolling, oh my God, it keeps going. Do you see this? It keeps going. Holy smoke, oh my God, it's a novel. The email that you know you should pay attention to, but it's just so damn long, you just forget to pay attention. and all of a sudden you're checking Instagram and your text messages. I get it. I'm not saying you have to reply long. I'm not saying you have to take a lot of time with them, but I am saying you have to thank them for the time that they took with you. Thank you for all of your detail. Thank you for your candor. Thank you for your attention and time. Thank you for setting me up for success. Because that's what those emails do, y'all. They're not there to waste your time. They're not there to weigh down your inbox. They're there because somebody's trying to tell you all of the information that you need. It's not for them. They don't like to hear themselves talk. That's fast-paced people. Thank you for your candor. And finally, the question email. Are we all familiar with the email that's just basically a bunch of questions, most of which don't apply to what we're talking about? Yeah. In my world, I got a lot of stuff that's like, what is your preferred airline? Even though I handle all my own transportation? Okay, no problem. Then I'll ask things like, what's your dietary restriction? No problem at all. And then they're like, what are your favorite foods? What are your least favorite foods? What's your favorite color? Guys, I'm only here for 60 minutes. I don't know how this is pertinent, but I'm going to answer these questions anyway. When people ask you a bunch of questions that you honestly don't apply, I'd like to encourage all of us out there to take a moment and simply reply with one line. Let me get you the most accurate and up-to-date information. Accurate and up-to-date information. It will change the game. Are we all victims? Are we all guilty of somebody when we say something that we think is true and turns out not to be true later, even though we've always done it like that? It's tough. Pause. Welcome the questions. And by the way, people who ask you questions, does anyone out there feel like I do, that when people ask questions, it feels like they're challenging you? Are we familiar with that? You just wish that they'd roll over like a cute puppy and just be like, you're the best. Of course, I'll go with your idea. Listen, when people ask you questions, look at it as an opportunity to sharpen your blade. If you're the expert at what you do, you need to receive those questions with open arms. It's the only way you're going to get greater. By the way, if somebody shoots you a smiley face, please shoot one back. There's no hack for this. But us smiley face people, we want to know you're smiling back at us. And if you're frowning, we accept that as well. We don't expect it all to be happy. So steering the ship. You guys are on a frickin' battleship and you're going 80,000 miles an hour down a creek. Does anyone ever feel like that? You're just basically coasting in a very narrow pathway towards a bunch of amazing strategic goals. You guys are getting it done faster than basically any other Parks and Rec association and group and community I've seen. And I've gotten to speak to a lot of them. So there's something special going on here, but I would be remiss if I didn't say that, do we think the best ideas are the ideas that are getting adopted? Have we ever been in a meeting where the loudest person in the room gets their way? Have we ever had an idea that we never got to share? Well, I'm not big on blaming here, but I've got to put the power back on you. It's up to you to steer the ship. You are Metro Parks. You might not feel like you can steer the ship sometimes, but I've got to give you back this power. If you are fast-paced, task-oriented, if you are dealing with somebody fast-paced, task-oriented, I've got to ask you to get to the point very quickly. They don't want the fluff of good morning. They don't want how are you doing. They don't want this idea of a billion questions. They don't want to know the details. They want to know, do you want a turkey sandwich for lunch? And they will be able to say yes or no. If it was only that easy. But get to the point. Get to the point. When you're dealing with peers, think about your leaders. Think about the people here in this organization you have a challenge with. It can change your relationship if you understand what they need to give you a yes or no. Fast-paced, people-oriented folks. I'm excited. I'm excited. Is anybody here excited about barbecue? I mean, yeah, heck yeah. I'm excited. One person's raising the roof in the back. Thank you very much. Yeah, double hands up. Listen, I'm excited. We do exciting things. And I got to tell you, if you're excited with me, I will follow you to the ends of the earth because your excitement is my excitement. Right or wrong, it's how it works with fast-paced, people-oriented folks. So if you walk into a meeting and you wonder why your ideas aren't being listened to, because you start with the problems, you start with the mountain ahead, you start with how long it's going to take you to achieve something, I'm going to ask you to put that in your pocket. That reality we can talk about, but I want you to dream with me. I want you to get excited with me, because if it's your idea and you're not even excited about it, why should I be? This is the stuff that doesn't get said in your meetings, but it's real. You can think about those past times when your idea hasn't been adopted. This can change it. How about I'll give you some time? Fast-paced people love to get things done very quickly and efficiently. Does anybody have their best ideas in the shower the next day? You know, you'll hear me speak, and I guess it's kind of weird, but you might be thinking about this in the shower, and you're sitting there and you're washing your hair and you're like, I wish I had thought of that. Or, yeah, that makes sense. Or, this is an idea that I have. Or, I wish I could have asked her this. That happens all the time in meetings. So when you're slower paced and people oriented, you want that idea to come across, you want to get people on board, give them a minute. Fast paced people, we are victims of our own pace. We love pushing fast pace on other people. Do we deal with life and death things? No, not really. We're not surgeons. I wouldn't be a great one. I'm not detail-oriented. It'd be horrible. But because of that, we have to give people space to think about their best ideas. And by the way, slower-paced folks, it's up to you to tell me that. It is up for me, or it's up for you, to tell me, hey, my best ideas come after I've had some time. Can we discuss this tomorrow? Can we make a decision tomorrow morning at 8? Give me some time to think about it. Use it. It matters. It'll make a difference. Your good ideas will be adopted. What about ask me questions? Have we all been in a meeting where someone's nervous energy starts way before you even start talking? You can see that they have questions and you're like, just wait for my presentation, okay? Just wait. Listen, invite the questions. You see somebody with nervous energy when you're talking to them, ask them, before I get started, do you have any questions? Receive their questions, answer it, and then find somebody on board with you. This is important stuff, because I know out there that if you do not contribute to this organization, your ideas, on your talents, your experience, if you don't have people adopting that, we are worse for it. We are better when you're able to advocate your best ideas. Unless you don't think you have any good ideas. And again, margarita talk. We'll meet and chat about that. Now in organizations, I'll end with this last tip. You've got to listen to your words. Because we're high performers, we tend to be very hard on ourselves. Anybody raised with pretty tough parents? Heck yeah. Somebody's right in the back raising their hand. They're like, I hope my mom isn't here to see that. But yeah, she was really tough. We constantly have words going on in our head. All the time. I mentioned earlier, what you seek, you find. I always hated the gym. I'm Italian. It's not really in us to go to the gym. We tend to eat. That's more of the sport of choice. And I noticed that when I would go to the gym, I just would hate it. And so I started listening to my words, and I would get on that elliptical, and I'd be there. And mind you, I'm a high performer. I want to crush it, just like y'all want to crush it. And I'd think to myself, ooh, I don't want to sweat. I don't want to sweat. But okay, here we are. And then I would start thinking to myself, if I wasn't so fat, I wouldn't have to do this. That is super rude. That's like savage. I would never say that to anyone in my entire life. But that's what's going on in my head. And it started to get me thinking about what's going on in your head. Traveling to organizations around the country, especially ones in massive change like you guys, with a huge goals, with a varied team, these are the ones I came up with the most. I can't. You can't or you don't want to. Own it. But when you keep hearing I can't, oh, I can't do that, I can't take a vacation day, I can't get my message across, I can't get them on board, I can't, you don't want to. Not judging, I'm just saying. I should. I have to. Says who? Says who? I earlier today just told you you could quit. You don't have to do anything. You got bills? You can find different bills. You got a mortgage? You can sell it and rent. But you're in control. Nobody's hog-tying you to this. Nobody's hog-tying you to the stress of your day. Nobody's insisting that you've got these words going on in your brain. But I know that you do because you care. And there's something about our society that makes us mean to ourselves just to push us. It's not right. And if you guys are such big-hearted people, I've got to say, you've got to turn that big heart on yourself. I always hear I wish when it comes to vacation. Somebody's out and you're like, oh, must be nice. I wish I could. Listen, cheapcaribbean.com, okay? Take that vacay. Because you can. And you should. Because this is the one chance you get. And I recently met this guy. His name is Christopher. He lives in New Hampshire. Christopher was born at 26 weeks. He's blind. He's partially deaf. He's autistic. When he was born, he got put into foster care, and about 6 months in, his biological dad's sister found him. She heard her deadbeat little brother had a baby. She finds Christopher, and Christopher lives in New Hampshire. There's not a great education system up there for special needs like Christopher. And so throughout the first years of his life, he was really bombarded with a lot of words, specifically around all the things he couldn't do. And I got to go see Christopher speak. He was at a conference to help me be a better speaker. So here's a 16-year-old up on stage teaching me, and he told the typical things you would expect somebody in his position to say. Community is important, right? Lean on your friends, family, and faith. Great suffering can bring great joy. But the thing that he said the most impacted me, and that I share with you today, is his decision to listen to the I can'ts that other people were saying, and that he was saying to himself, and flip it into the things that he can do. Every time somebody says he can't drive a car, he can't identify all of the birds that sing outside his home. He can't ever watch a movie, but he can carry a perfect tune. It turns out that when he was made, there was something about his ear canal that gave him perfect pitch. When people say that he can't live a normal life, he replaces it with the thought that he can know when people around him are happy because of the way their lips sound moving over their teeth when they smile. I can't, but I can. And that's a game changer, because I gotta say, he has a podcast called Mission Possible. He's sung for the Pope. He has 2 albums. He's a nationally touring gospel singer, and he's got a speaker ring. It's incredible. He even got to open for his very favorite team, the Boston Red Sox.
Oh, can you walk out there?
The way your lips sound when you move over your teeth to smile. That's the power of what you think. That's the power of what you look for. That's the power of perspective. Now, before I leave with a quick antidote, I want to give you a tool for perspective. This is something that all of us can do every single day. It's the only thing I do consistently, other than telling the people I love them and brushing my teeth. It's a simple journal entry, and it asks 3 very basic questions. How do you want to feel today? How do you want to feel today? I woke up and I wanted to feel connected today and full of barbecue. The second question, what am I going to do to feel that way? I'm going to give you 110%. I hope to talk to you all afterwards. And I plan to eat a lot of barbecue. And finally, I'm going to challenge you and ask, what's one thing you're going to leave behind today? You're going to stop doing, stop giving time to, stop giving your energy to. Talking about others, looking for the negatives, answering calls from my sister-in-law. Realize this is being live streamed. Hey, Jade. Listen, we carry around a lot of guilt. We carry a lot around of things that don't serve us. And I'm going to give you full permission here to put that down and seek the good stuff. I don't care if you wake up in the morning and you want to feel sexy. If you want to feel sexy, great. You want to feel empowered, great. Confident, humble, empathetic. What you seek, I guarantee you will find. So choose wisely. It's for yourself and it's for the people you interact with. We can't do what we do alone. And I gotta say, I don't think you even would want to if you could. We're really doing big things. Y'all are doing huge things. And I'll end with this thought, because this is me and my mom and my dad and my sister on the best day of my life. Got to marry the hottest person I've ever married or met in real life. It was very, very good. It's a good day. And in this photo, we're holding up my dad because he has MS and he's wheelchair bound. And I got to tell you, the big man and I, his name was John Paul, him and I were always like oil and water. We did not get along. We didn't get along ever. I came out of the womb. I'm the oldest of an Italian Catholic family, so I've got a lot of guilt just coming straight into the world. And he liked the Yankees, so I said, go Red Sox. He liked long hair. I cut my hair short. He said brown is the perfect color of a hair on a woman. So I had blue and pink and blonde. Sorry, Dad. I liked being rebellious. And I'm a fast-paced, people-oriented person, and he is a slow-paced, task-oriented person. It was painful to interact with him. And that lessons that I've taught you today about how to communicate and how to have that perspective about yourself and others, well, I went through it and I figured it out at work, and then I started to think, what about the relationship I desired to have most in my own personal life? Do you have somebody in your life you wish you had a better relationship with? I think a lot of us do. So when I started coming over to my parents' house a few years ago, after I'd quit my job and I had a lot of free time to figure out what I was going to do when I grew up, I came over with the expectation that it was going to take 6 hours minimum and I was going to have a to-do list. And behind that to-do list, guys, I found something very special. I found Italian dinners together. I found Turner Classic Movies together. I learned about my grandparents in World War II. I learned about my dad getting arrested once in Italy. He was a lawyer, so him getting arrested is quite funny. But I got to tell you, when you apply what we've learned today to your personal life, things change, and you're going to be happy that you did it. You're going to be happy that you did it because there's going to come a day, like it came last September for me, where the person that you want to have a better relationship isn't around. They're not around to improve that. They're not around for your time and your task and your connection. And so we're here to talk about work, but I would be extremely remiss if I didn't say that because you know better, you get to do better now. Not just with your Metro Parks family, but with the people that matter most to you in life. Please use your superpowers for good, because you are great, and I've loved being here with y'all today. Thank you very much.
Rachel Sheeran, everyone. Yes. The Italian Catholic Support Group will be meeting here at 12:35. Please join Rachel and I. We'll be having a session. Some great takeaways and tidbits. I heard a lot about energy and details, and both have a purpose. Those that talk to think, and then those who think then talk, the why and the how, the community of people that are coming together like our Metro Parks family, sharing a common vision and set of values. Our ROI equals our ROI, our rate of involvement. Knowing when we fake it, exclamation points, wish it on one another. How you start and how you finish matters. Pause and welcome the questions. A few other tidbits I took away. Making sure that our best ideas are getting airtime. Adapting our style to those who we are collaborating with. Be mindful of your words and be your own BFF. And flip those I can'ts and I cans. I think some fabulous messages. Rachel, thank you for sharing that. All right, we're going to keep things moving. This next section of our all staff, we are going to do some service recognition. This gets kind of fun. We have a number of staff to celebrate and recognize from 5 years to 50 years. So it's my pleasure to first begin with recognizing folks with 5 years of service. So I'll ask that these folks please stand up so we can properly recognize you. Don't be bashful, 5 years. All the 5 years are covering for us veterans out in the field right now. Okay, 5 years ago, this is what was going on. In the Rose Bowl, Michigan State beat Stanford. Oh, yeah. And the BCS National Championship, Florida State beat Auburn. In the Golden Globes, 12 Years a Slave was the winner. Seattle Seahawks beat the 49ers 23-17 in the NFC Championship. And ironically, 5 short years ago, our U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry claims climate change requires urgent action and that only a small, quote, window of time remains open. Okay, that was 5 years ago. Round of applause for the 5-year folks. All right, we're going to move on to the 10 years. 10-year folks, please stand up. All right. You have to remain standing now. All right. So 10 short years ago, Barack Obama was inaugurated as the 44th president, and he became the first African-American president of these great United States. We had our first case of H1N1 swine flu. Usain Bolt of Jamaica became known on the world stage for his win in the 100 meters in the world athletics championship in Berlin. Our Statue of Liberty reopened after 8 years due to security reasons after the World Trade Center attacks. The mockumentary Parks and Recreation starring Amy Poehler, Nick Offerman, and Aziz Ansari debuts on NBC. Can you believe that? That was just 10 years ago. People's Choice Awards, Will Smith, Reese Witherspoon win. Let's see, Golden Globes, Slumdog Millionaire is a winner. Carrie Underwood and Brad Paisley win the Country Music Awards. In the Rose Bowl, Southern Cal beats Penn State. And that famous landing, the Miracle on the Hudson, Sully, that occurred on the Hudson River just 10 years ago. So congratulations to our 3 10-year recipients of service. Thank you. Moving on to 15 years. 15 years ago, the final episode of Frasier on NBC is watched by 33 million people. Okay, 15-year people, please stand up. Who's all the Frasier watchers? Oh, we've got one in the back. Friends airs the finales in the 10th and final season in the U.S. 15 years ago. Man, it feels not that long ago. Casey Kasem gives up his hosting duties of American Top 40 to Ryan Seacrest. The Red Sox win the World Series for the first time in 86 years. Hilary Swank is Best Actress Oscar for $1 Million Baby. Jamie Foxx for his role in Ray. Marlon Brando, Ray Charles, Christopher Reeve, and Donald Reagan all pass away 15 years ago. All right, let's keep moving. Next up, 25 years. So, Dave and Rodney, do we have you in the house? Please stand up. Don't be bashful. All right, 25 years ago, these two folks were part of experiencing Nelson Mandela being sworn in as South Africa's first black president, where the Church of England ordained its first set of 33 women priests. Pulp Fiction hits the Cannes Film Festival. Friends debuts on NBC. Aerosmith becomes the first band to let fans download a full new track free from the internet. Harry Styles, Justin Bieber, and Dakota Fanning were born on this earth. And our very own Bill Gates, at the tender age of 38, marries his sweetheart, Melinda French, who is 29. John Candy, Kurt Cobain, and Richard Nixon depart us in that year. So give it up for 25 years. Thank you. 30 years of service. Holy smokes, now we're really cranking. Jeff, Leslie, Mary, Mike, Scott, where are you? Please stand, be recognized. Round of applause to these folks. Woohoo! All right, you got to preside over Batman, premiering by Tim Burton, starring Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson. Oh, that was a classic. Roger and Me debuted at the Toronto International Film Festival. That was Michael Moore, and he wins the People's Choice Award. Sorry, wrestling fans, but the WWF, in order to gain deregulation, has to admit that pro wrestling is an exhibition and not a sport. I'm sorry. Chris Brown, Daniel Radcliffe, and Taylor Swift are born. Of course, George H.W. Bush was our president. Mikhail Gorbachev was Soviet Union General Secretary. Daniel Day-Lewis won the Oscar for My Left Foot, and Jessica Tandy for Driving Miss Daisy. George Michael was a Grammy for the Album of the Year. Unfortunately, Mike Tyson and Robin Givens decided to split. And Lucille Ball, Ferdinand Marcos, Betty Davis, and the Ayatollah Khomeini all pass away 30 years ago. All right, congratulations, 30-year folks. Well done. 35 years ago. 35, we've got three, Mary, Penny, Ed. Woohoo! All right, this is going to start to date you folks. Apple Computer unveils its revolutionary Macintosh personal computer. Let's see, we had the Union Carbide disaster. You remember that? That was some time ago. 45 tons of some really bad stuff in India. Night Court, starring Harry Anderson, premieres on NBC. Oh my God, who remembers Night Court? Holy smokes. The Supreme Court rules in a 5-4 narrow decision that the private use of home VCRs to tape TV programs for later viewing does not violate federal copyright laws. Who still has a VCR? Don't answer that. Kate and Alley premieres on CBS. Ghostbusters hits the movie theaters. Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd grace us with their presence on the big screen. Michael Jackson wins 8 Grammy Awards. Born in the USA is the seventh studio album by Bruce Springsteen. Purple Rain album is released by Prince. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar breaks Wilt Chamberlain's all-time career scoring record. Some pretty cool things 35 years ago. Kate Perry, LeBron James, Mark Zuckerberg, Prince Harry, and Scarlett Johansson were all born in this year. Ronald Reagan was our president. And let's see, Michael Jackson, Grammy for Album of the Year. Congratulations to 35 years of service. We're getting up there. 40 years. 1979. Larry, Jeff, and Jeff. Congratulations. 40 years. Probably a good, third of our staff haven't been born for 40 years. I don't know. Margaret Thatcher becomes the first woman to be elected Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Supertramp's Breakfast in America becomes the #1 album for featuring Take the Long Way Home. Supertramp, awesome. Ayatollah Khomeini returns to Iran after 15 years in exile. That was 40 years ago. Monty Python, any Monty Python fans? Life of Brian premieres. Star Trek The Motion Pictures, the first movie of the series, premieres. The Cure releases their debut album, Three Imaginary Boys. Guinness Book of Records presents Paul McCartney with a special recognition for all-time best-selling singer-songwriter. Pink Floyd, The Wall is released. Seriously, Pink Floyd, 40 years ago. Pat Summerall and John Madden broadcast a game together for the first time that would last 22 years and become one of the most well-known partnerships in TV sportscasting history. Claire Danes, Heath Ledger, Jennifer Love Hewitt, Kevin Hart, Pink were all born in this year. Jimmy Carter was our president. Congratulations to 40-year folks. All right, now we're getting to the fun stuff. 45 years. Woohoo, Matt. Woohoo! 45 years. Okay, this is going to really date you. The UPC code is scanned for the first time to sell a package of Wrigley chewing gum. Holy smokes. The first extraterrestrial message was sent from Earth into space. Woo! The Heimlich maneuver for rescuing choking victims is published in the Journal of Emergency Medicine. Of course, Richard Nixon resigns as our president, maybe only eclipsed by Cher filing for divorce from her husband, Sonny Bono. Northern Ireland conflict continues. $6 Million Man, starring Lee Majors, premieres on ABC TV. Barbra Streisand's #1 hit, The Way We Were, hits the airwaves. Blazing Saddles, one of Mel Brooks's films, opens in theaters. Hank Aaron ties Babe Ruth's home run record by hitting his 714th. Rumble in the Jungle, Muhammad Ali knocks out George Foreman. Ramones concert debut in New York City. ABBA gets recognized in Sweden for singing Waterloo. Famous people born: Alanis Morissette, Elizabeth Banks, Hilary Swank, Jimmy Fallon, Leonardo DiCaprio, Victoria Beckham, and Richard Nixon was our president for a period of time. All right, congratulations, Matt. All right, saving the best for last. 50 years ago, I was born. And we'd like to have a special shout out to Mr. Rich Johnson. Are you in the house, Rich? Virtually or physically? Maybe virtually. Hopefully, at least virtually. Incredible career. I've never been a part of an organization that's had a 50-year tenured employee, let alone 40, 45, which is rare enough. But 50 years of service. Commitment to our mission is incredibly outstanding. We had the opportunity to recognize Rich at our park board meeting not too long ago, and he is still going strong. Some things that happened 50 years ago. We reached 200 million in population. Yasser Arafat becomes the chairman of the PLO. As you can recall, Apollo 11, lunar module carrying Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin lands on the moon. Poor Michael Collins has to stay in orbit. Poor guy. 2 million people take part in a Vietnam War moratorium demonstration across the United States. Tammy Wynette marries George Jones. British comedy troupe Monty Python is formed. The debut album of Led Zeppelin is released in the United States. Wow, 50 years ago, Led Zeppelin. David Bowie releases his single Space Oddity 9 days before the Apollo 11 lands on the moon. Woodstock Music and Arts Fair opens in New York State on that little dairy farm. Mickey Mantle announces his retirement due to knee injuries. Played 18 seasons with 536 home runs. Milwaukee Bucks signed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And famous people born, Cate Blanchett, Jennifer Aniston, Jennifer Lopez, Steffi Graf, and John Wayne won the Best Actor for Midnight Cowboy. And Glenn Campbell for the Grammy Album of the Year. So that rounds out decades of service for Metro Parks Tacoma, and I hope you have a chance to congratulate and recognize folks here that have served at our barbecue today, and if you don't catch them today, please catch up with them soon. We're very appreciative and thankful for your commitment, their commitment in service to Metro Parks and the greater Tacoma community. So congratulations. One round of applause for all of our folks. All right, with that, it's a pleasure of mine, and I'm just about right on time too. It's a pleasure of mine to turn this over to our fearless leader and visionary, Mr. Sean Sylvia, our executive director. Welcome, Sean.
Really? That's as good as it gets? Are you kidding me? Like, the only thing I'm really nervous about after listening, well, first off, I wanted to say really quick, so impressed with just the number of years of service and the people that are around and have been around and what you all have done to change the lives of this community. And I just wanted to take time to say again, thank you so much for your years of service. So y'all could clap at that point too. Like, let's hear it up for these individuals. So when I was sitting back listening to the presentation, there was 4 things that I thought about. First thing, I wanted to make sure that I was going to tell you that I wanted to be the slow and tasked person. So I was going to stand up to screw around with you all because I thought I liked those people better than when I was up there like trying to make sure I was going back and forth. So that part kind of was screwing around. And then I was thinking, I was sitting back and using your superpower for good. And I know that you do that. And that's also, I was really impressed where the people that are around me, I just felt really pretty incredible that I was part of this team. And then I was sitting back also thinking about how you show up matters. And you all do show up. And I'm out in the community and people talk about you. And I'm just really, again, proud to be part of this team. But the biggest part that I was most nervous about is the number of times people were talking about the barbecue. And there's pressure that this barbecue better be good. That's all I have to say. Really quick, it's been a pretty incredible year. We've completed some major construction projects. We've launched programs that have changed people's lives. We're evolving in these internal systems that support all your great work. And when we're really putting staff members in opportunities to succeed and advance. And I have a list of this that I want to really talk about, just the volume of work that you all do. And at the core of all these accomplishments is really you. You are doing some incredible and innovative work, and you're doing it while the world changes around you. And I know that sometimes we laugh about, it feels like we're building an airplane as we fly it, but I could guarantee you that's just what good organizations do. And this is changing, and for us to change with how the world's changing, the community's changes, we're being receptive to that, and it shows. And I know that as we go through, and we've done a lot of listening this year, we've always done a good job listening to the community. People have asked us, how do we do all this community engagement? And they want that information from us. But this year, what we were really trying to do was work on listening to you and understand what we need to do differently internally. And so there's a few things. One, we've done a lot of hiring, and we've improved the ways that we recruit the positions so that we have a deeper talent pool to find the right fit for each position. We've created tools to make your work more efficient, and just last month, our GIS team demoed 3 different mobile apps that we built to streamline various services. We've created district teams to tap the talent of each department and to collaborate on solutions to our bigger challenges. And that's, again, so that we're listening to other people and we're bringing people together to have a different perspective than what we've done in the past. We're committed also to addressing diversity, equity, and inclusion, and one of the most pressing challenges in our society, and I love that we are in the forefront of that as a public sector. We're evaluating the safety of our facilities and addressing emergency preparedness. And we've made quite a few internal promotions, and you are the most important resource, and we are committed to helping you grow. And when you grow, the district grows. And so those of you, how many of you are new to the organization or have been promoted within the past year? Can you raise your hand? Congratulations to all of you. So one thing that I've been thinking a lot about, that we are so committed to executing our mission that we don't always step back and stop and celebrate the successes. And there's so many of them. And so in fact, this list is not as comprehensive because you would not get to eat your barbecue. So again, let's start with the capital projects. Since the last time we met a year ago, we've opened and I'm expecting you all, when I read these, that you're going to need a clap, all right? So I just want to make sure I'm setting the expectation out there up front. We opened the Pacific Seas Aquarium. Yeah, there we go. We opened the Eastside Community Center. We added community gardens and playgrounds at Charlotte's Blueberry Park. And in fact, we had 3 people showing up to the board meeting on Monday to thank both the board members and staff for being able to listen and doing this work. And let me tell you, when the citizens get up, I'm like, oh, what did we there's a boulder that we didn't move, that moved, and we missed some type of mowing, and it was so nice to have them come back and say some great things about you all, because I know this community really cares about the work that you do. We opened the Bald Eagle exhibit at Northwest Trek, Meadow Park golf upgrades, which gave us a boost at the golf course. Seymour Conservatory added public restrooms. Come on, the first time in history since 112 years. Let's go. You have a place to relieve yourself. It's good. Of course, the opening of Dune Peninsula and Wilson Way Bridge. Now, how many of you have been stopped in the public where people are loving this space? I have it all the time, and it's incredible. I'm sure it's happening to you. But let's talk also about, in addition to the capital projects, there's programs that you all are doing. Remember the teachers' strike last year. Let's hope that we negotiate and they're actually opening the schools on time this year. But parents were grateful for the free days of camps offered during the strike. And that was an incredible effort on your part. We expanded the park ranger program at Point Defiance Park. Snow beginning, remember that. And last February, our park staff did an amazing job responding to snow days. Yeah. Lots of babies born at the zoo in Northwest Trek. Endangered red wolf pups, tapir calf. Listen, the baby, are you ready for this? 2-man doo-wah. Just go with it. I'm sure it's right. Penguin chicks, butternut, the beaver, to name a few. Oh, that's a lot of babies. I'm trying, zoo folks, I'm really trying. The Wildlife Champion Partnerships at Arlington Elementary. Let's hear for that. Changing kids' lives. We hosted the Under the Sea event for kids with disabilities and their families at the zoo. Thank you for your efforts. The Zoo Northwest Trek also earned the Sensory Inclusive Site designation from Culture City Award. Fort Nisqually, here's another one. Fort, I'm going to try for this one. You ready? Created the Kluka-ya. Help me out. How's it really pronounced? Just like that. With its name taken from the Native American word meaning welcome. And as part of that, our Fort staff collaborated with the Tacoma Community House to welcome immigrants and refugees to join in on the festivals. The conservatory welcomed evening guests to experience Luso lights. We partnered with the Korean Women's Association to repurpose Portland Avenue Community Center. The Tacoma Nature Center celebrated its 40th anniversary. We went through the challenging CAPRA reaccreditation process, and we'll find out officially next month, but I'm feeling pretty good that we will pass and that we will be reaccredited. Yeah, like the dramatic pause making you all clap when you aren't clapping. That was hard. We launched a new website. We created an after-school program for middle schools. And finally, are you ready for this? And finally, for the second time in 3 years, we are a finalist for the NRPA's Gold Medal Award, and that's no small feat. We are consistently being measured against the top parks and recreation systems in the nations, and you know what? If you're a finalist within 3 years, it's safe to assume that they are measuring the rest of the nation against us. And based on the list that I shared and on the commitment of our mission, I like the chances of the gold medal, and I think that we will be acknowledged, number one, I believe, in the nation, and we'll figure that out September 24th. I'm not Gucciing us, but I feel comfortable that we have it. Yeah, you all should too. I probably shouldn't even, I'm not supposed to announce this, so don't tell anybody, but I will. Just got an email yesterday from NRPA, and we have just received notice that we are the 2019 National Recreation and Parks Association Park Champion of the Year. So congratulations to you all. Commissioner Reed likes to say that we're the best of the best, and so we're out there during the best of the best ceremony to accept this award. So really proud of being able to be acknowledged, but more importantly, I'm proud of all of you. So regardless of whether we win the gold medal, I really want you to know this, that you're making a huge difference in people's lives, and I want to thank you for all that you do. I want to thank you for being patient as we kind of build our system and the organization structure and to support the work that you do. But I want to thank you also. I know collaboration's hard, and I appreciate the work you're doing, both how you collaborate with your people that are next to you in the cubicle, to another division, to another department, to another agency. I think we all get better together. I believe that. But I simply want, again, I appreciate the collaboration, but I want to just simply thank you. So appreciate the work that you do. Thank you.
All right, it's that time that Rachel been talking about. It's barbecue time. All right, so those who are participating virtually, I believe we have some treats or things for you virtually. So, and many thanks to our colleagues who are participating virtually to keep things operating while we are gathering here. So round of applause to our colleagues who are back on the home fronts. Two other quick items. One is I want to acknowledge and recognize and appreciate folks who have completed their service to Metro Parks and have retired in this past year. So just a hearty round of applause for folks who may be with us or who have already passed on and said thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the service to those folks. And congratulations, and we wish those individuals the very best in their next chapter. And lastly, one more round of applause to our all-staff planning committee. This wouldn't be possible without their work, and it takes a lot of logistics, as you can understand, to pull all this off and to make it sunny and warm. So thank you, staff planning team. So on behalf of all of us, thank you all for your time and attention today. We have a barbecue right out yonder. We're going to first get a group photo. Those veterans, you know, there's always a group photo. We're going to head out here towards a ladder that we're going to put Russ on. And he's going to snap some pictures of us as a staff group, and then we're going to turn you loose. And the leadership team is going to help serve up some barbecue to you. So head on out. Thank you all.